there's like the media. If we didn't have films, most older men in their 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s wouldn't think that they need to be with a woman 35 years younger than them. But it's accepted. Yeah, we can go on this whole tangent, but if you
Let's
look
go
at
on
films,
this whole tangent. This is
no,
a
if you
rabbit
look at
hole. I just
films,
enjoy going down, but it's up to
older
Brian.
women
It's
that
up to you,
date
man.
younger men are given stigmas and names. But it's widely accepted through films and the way society acts
This is actually-
that an older man
Okay.
can date someone 20, 30 years younger than them.
Actually-
and it's okay.
Well, let
Actually-
us
Ryan
find out.
Gosling.
Hang on. I think that that's a fair point. Let us test if it's true. I have, just in my memory, a grouping of movies where an older woman is sleeping with a younger man, and that's considered to be based and awesome and in every way just fine. One that comes to mind, for instance, is American Pie with Stifler's mom. Right? This was a movie that was widely distributed. So my question is, let's go one for one. Can you name the movie where that's socially acceptable the other way for a man?
Probably all the movies that were made in the 50s.
Yeah, no,
and
just
60s.
name one.
Okay, so let's see. The one with Cary Grant, and then he was with...
In the 1950s?
No, wait, let me just go. Like,
No, in
with
modernity. What are the modern
Roman
movies
Holiday,
which are showing this?
like you see Cary Grant with someone who's 20, 30 years younger than
the
him.
70-year-old
modern-
geriatric dudes are not going to count as far as societal norms now. So, like, in
But-
modernity...
Actually, if you watch any films, especially with female directors, they talk about this subject a lot, that it's okay. It's taboo for an older woman to date a younger man. And
Good,
she
then name the
she
movie
gets
in
beat-
modernity
she
where,
gets beat up
where it's the older
verbally.
man with the younger woman, and that is considered, and that is pushed and promoted as being a good thing. Name one.
Twilight. Yeah.
No, not you.
But
I'm
Name
helping
one.
her out.
of
And by the way, the reason Twilight doesn't count is because Edward physically stays the same age
But it was
forever.
funny.
So
But
that
he's
doesn't
like
that doesn't
alive
even count.
for thousands
So
of
back,
years.
so
Yeah.
back
Happy
away,
argument
so
ready
back away
now.
from
Like,
that,
you
and
knew
then, by the way,
your
that
Still
movie had
alive for hundreds of
bestiality.
years,
No
just
shock to
because
me
he
that the tree
physically
lover
doesn't
loves
do
it.
anything.
But back over to this, where I was before I was so rudely interrupted. Can you name a movie of modernity where it's promoted for men to have an age gap relationship, and that's promoted as a good thing?
Isn't Pretty Woman like all about
Not you, not you, not you. The woman I'm talking
Please,
to
just
who's
kindly
not
answer the
you.
question. Just answer the question kindly.
I'm just thinking, well, there was a movie that was recent that Anne Hathaway was in when she's older than the man.
Oh, I know that movie.
And then she got completely beat up about it verbally, society, her child was, teased.
Yeah, what's it called?
I forgot what that movie was.
You would think that if
It's Only
these things
Me.
were so, you
Or
would
It's
think that
Only
if
Me.
societally it was so prevalent that age gap relationships were looked at as being okay for men to go after younger women, that you would have a slew of examples that you can give me.
What about
And I haven't
Seinfeld?
actually heard you give me one example of where that's promoted as being a good thing in a movie.
All you have to do is look at what Hugh Hefner created, and then I met him years ago, and it was
That does not
normal.
surprise me.
But it was normal for an older man to be with someone 20, 30 years, and it's in lots of
Before
movies.
we
It's just
move
I'm
over
not
to the diatribe, which I'm happy to listen to and engage with, can you name a movie in modernity, even the last 20 years, where the age gap relationship is promoted as being a good thing, where the man is older than the woman? Just one. I'm just looking for one.
All of James Bond's movies. pretty
All
much.
of James Bond's
Like the
movies?
last
No.
ones
Most
with
of,
Daniel.
okay, name the
no,
one
with
where he's in the
Daniel
age gap
Craig-
relationship.
Wait. The Daniel Craig movies of the last three he was in, the woman was in their 20s, and he's in his 60s going into the 70s. So that's a 40-year gap.
Wait, what movie is this?
Daniel Craig was in 3 James Bond films, and he's late 60s, and his star is in their 20s.
Yeah, but you realize that you can act when you're acting. You can still act as though you're the same age as the person who's far younger than you. These are not, James Bond movies are not presented as James Bond is way older than the women that he ends up with. Those are never presented that way. They're presented as being in some way equal in age or
Accepted.
sophistication, always.
Can I
But
ask
I'm
what
just
your
saying that
point
it's
is, though?
a society thing, that it's okay for an older man to be with a 20, 30, 40-year gap woman.
It actually,
But
so okay, it
when
actually
you're-
Yeah, you
isn't.
keep
It
asserting
actually
that,
isn't.
but where's
So,
the
okay,
evidence
so
for that?
Here's the thing, right, is that you say that, but in actuality, it's actually, there's a huge actual negative pressure sorry, I'm not using the right wording there. For example, you'll have words like cougar for women. It's not clear to me that there's actually
worse.
any negative stigma towards women who date younger men, whereas older men who date younger women actually get severely pathologized by mass amounts of the population. They conflate men who date women in their, who are, if a man's 40 who's dating a 21-year-old, they're going to call him a P word. So there's actually way more stigma towards men who date younger than the reverse. While it's more common for men to date younger, there's much greater stigma.
Oh,
Yeah,
All right,
I'll
well,
give you
thank
an
you for
example
that.
of this,
What?
and maybe you just don't know how this goes, at least inside the online sphere. But men who date younger women are often called PDF files. They're often called names like this because they're dating a woman who is a legal adult. She's sometimes 22, 23 years old, and he's 40, 45, and they still call him that. That seems like it's a massive social stigma, the opposite direction than what you're talking about.
so I
do you-
guess it's
Yeah,
happening both ways, but because I'm older.
It's not, though.
No, but
It's
because
not.
I'm older than most of the women here, it's like I see that there is a stigma. If I'm attracted to someone who's younger than me, then I get called those names. So even though I'm not attracted to
Well,
someone
yeah, but
my
what are
age.
the names? What are the names? Cougar?
Cougar
Like,
or
what are the derogatory names that you're called?
Yeah, you get called cougar, men get called P words.
Yeah, they
What's
get called
the
the
P
P word. You get called a
Can't say
cougar.
it.
Like,
What?
Can't say it.
You know it
Okay.
is.
I don't.
Pedo.
it starts.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So like Bill Belichick, is that right? Bill Belichick. He's got that 23-year-old girlfriend. He's 72. That's all over the news lately.
Oh, didn't they just have a
Yeah,
baby?
I
That's
don't
also
think
that
so.
one guy who's like 80 just had a baby with
That's
like
what
somebody
You're talking
else.
about Al
Okay,
Pacino.
back on
Thank-
track here. Back on
thank
track
you.
here.